Our Father, God the Creator, desires to show His will and heart to man. That is, I think, what is unique about Christianity. For example, Hinduism is a really interesting religion because Brahman, who is the ultimate reality, he's not really a god, but he is this mysterious figure who represents everything about all of our reality. You don't really know who this God is. Same with Islam. You don't really know who this God is. God is just an absolute God in which you put in your whole life trying to do good, and you only know if you've made it to heaven once you die. So Christianity is unique in a sense that we believe in a God who from the creation of the world wants to reveal himself to his people. And we see that in Hebrews chapter 1 verse 1. In the past, God spoke to our ancestors through the prophets at many times and in various ways. The word in the past here is referring to a time that predates the coming of Jesus Christ. And it says God spoke at many times and various ways. The Greek of this phrase, many times, means in many parts. In many parts. What does that mean? So in the Old Testament, we see God speaking to his people mostly through prophets. So he would speak to his prophets like Moses, Elijah, Isaiah, right, Ezekiel, and he would share his heart to the prophets so that the prophets may declare what the word of the Lord is. That was the way that God communicated to his people. And the author of Hebrews is saying, yes, that is true. God, of course, spoke through the prophets, but he spoke through the prophets at many times. This expression, many times, as I said, in the original language means many parts. So in some sense, the way that God spoke in the Old Testament, it was fragmented. So the people of Israel, when they were escaping from Egypt, they didn't get a full picture of who God was, even though God shared his heart to them. For example, in Genesis, Adam and Abraham, though they knew who God was, God revealed himself to them in fragmented ways. That's what the author of Hebrews is saying. So in some sense, God's revelation will be fragmented and his will was shown progressively. God revealed himself progressively throughout the Old Testament. And God will also reveal himself in various ways, right? Through visions, through dreams, and through direct speech. So what God had revealed to his people in the past, in various times, it was real, right? We don't serve a God that wants to trick his people. That would be an evil God if God is deliberately tricking people and not wanting them to know what his thoughts are. Many of the gods in Greek or Roman mythology, many of the gods are depicted that way. They are gods that want to trick people, right? But the reason for that depiction is because many of those gods reflect human characteristics. They are man-made. But the God that we serve, the God of the Bible, shows us truly a God who does not trick us, but a God who wants to reveal himself to us. The author of Hebrews is saying, God revealed himself in fragmented ways and in a progressive manner. And he continues, but in these last days here is talking about any time from the coming of Jesus Christ all the way up until the return of Jesus Christ. So some people say, oh, we're in our last days because Jesus is coming back next month. Or people saying we're in the last days because there are these signs. Of course, there's going to be signs and during the end times. But Jesus says no one will know when the Son will return. Only the Father will know. So when we say the last days in the Bible, theologically speaking, we are talking about the time when Jesus first came to the earth all the way up until his second coming. I know some may have different interpretations, but I believe that is the most theologically balanced way of seeing this phrase. God has spoken to us by what? By his Son, right? Is it a son? No, it is his Son, capital S, right? It is the Son. So it's talking about Jesus Christ. It is a deliberate transition from fragmented and progressive revelation in the Old Testament to the final, complete, and climactic revelation in the person of Jesus Christ. So Donald Guthrie, he's a theologian, he says, the implication is that all previous revelation is partial, whereas the revelation in the Son is complete and final. That's why when we summarize the Old Testament, we say everything in the Old Testament is pointing to Jesus. Right? The Old Testament is a foreshadow of what is about to come. It's a preparation period as to when Jesus came. It was a time when God had fully revealed himself. So the author of Hebrews is saying, the Messiah that you are anticipating, remember, he's talking to the early Christian Jews, right? And he's trying to encourage them to remain in the faith. The author of Hebrews is saying, the Messiah that you were anticipating, Jesus Christ, has come to this earth, who is the Son of God, and through him, God has revealed his will fully and completely. Brothers and sisters, what does that mean? What does that mean for us? This means that Jesus is a culmination of God's redemptive plan for us. No further revelation is greater than what God has revealed to us through Jesus Christ. Let me repeat that. No further revelation is greater than what God has revealed to us through Jesus Christ.